going to go over my current ultimate Draco setup with the help of some really cool products that I finally have, like the complete set. Mainly I'm talking about the full JMAC front end, the MMS railed handguard, the railed gas tube replacement, and the T2 micro dot mount that couples to the mount that everything else bolts onto. So it's the full thing, the rail, the gas tube, and the optic mount that you hopefully have already seen on this channel. But I've got the whole thing bolted on this gun, and I've got a really cool brand new optic on here from Primary Arms called the RD25. It's extremely inexpensive, and it's much larger than what they've had in the past. So it's a pretty cool setup on my most favorite AK, my Draco. This is 12 inches of 7.62 by 39, and we've even got the little JMAC 360 brake up there with the blast cone on, and this allows us to directly mount a dead air Wolfman suppressor, which is cool. It's got tunable gas from a K&S piston, it's got the ALG trigger, and we've got some polishing going on the inside. It is a highly tuned, highly capable AK, and now with this very space AK front end, wanted to do some blasting with it today and kind of tell you how I feel about the whole JMAC setup, because it's pretty cool stuff, and it's fairly different than a lot of other rails. So we'll get into that today. And I've also changed up the rear end on this thing. We've gone back to a laminate fixed stock with trench art. I'm having a love affair with trench art lately. It's half and half. From here back, basic AK. From here forward, space AK. So let's go ahead and get into it today, and then we'll go to the range, start blasting with it. By the way, I wanted to tell you that there is a collaboration giveaway going on for basically everything that you see here. The Primary Arms RD25 red dot, the JMAC T2 optic mount here, the rail, and the gas tube. In fact, the rail that's in the giveaway, this is what that looks like. It's actually the 14.25 inch with an AKM gas tube. Not exactly what you see here, but that's actually what they're giving away. So regardless, that's gonna look really sick on a lot of your AKs that probably have no gunsmithing. They're probably all 16-inch barreled guns, so that's a very good setup for one of those. So they're doing a giveaway. You win the rail, you win the gas tube, the optic mount, and this exact optic. I'm gonna drop a link to that giveaway down below. Just click the link, it tells you what you need to do. There's a lot of different ways to enter, but this is many hundreds of dollars worth of stuff that they're giving away. And you don't have to follow my Instagram, you don't have to subscribe to this channel, you don't have to. Just click that link below, and that's how you enter. If you remember back, we actually had this Draco set up very similar to this. Recently, we took it to Kalashnikon, and I took second place overall on the day that I ran this, and almost won the whole freaking match. But thanks to Neil Vermillion, that was not the case, but we came in second place overall, and we almost freaking did it. Basically, with almost everything you see here, we still had the JMAC rail, we had their prototype of the T2 optic mount, and we had the same muzzle device. So what we've done now is we've actually bolted on their railed gas tube that bolts directly on to the same mounting mechanism that the lower handguard bolts onto. And we now have the finished product. This is no longer a prototype. You can't really tell a difference if you compare it to older footage of the prototype. It's basically, all I can see the big difference is it weighs like half the weight. So, you know, I'm sure they're using aircraft aluminum here. It's extremely lightweight. And the bolt pattern that all of these are going to have for now is Aimpoint T2. So there's tons of optics that use that bolt pattern. It's become very standard. So that's what this is. The optic we have changed to a much larger field of view. I think what Primary Arms is trying to do here is kind of have like an MRO sized sight picture. It's just a dot. But if you look here, and I actually held up an optic, one of their other smaller optics, side by side with this thing, you can see it's a much larger field of view. Same size dot. And I have found it to be extremely sharp, very crisp, and I have astigmatisms in both eyes. That's why I have to shoot with glasses all the time now. That's the only thing that really helps me with my astigmatisms. So I have found it to be extremely sharp when I wear my glasses. Push buttons, exposed turrets. It's pretty freaking cool, man. And it's $120. pretty sick. Going back to this, if you don't know, this JMAC calls the MMS rail. I think it's an attractive looking rail, and of course you get M-LOK on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. They make this in a ton of different rail lengths. You can get it, you can actually get it with or without your sling loop cut. So you guys have like Saigas that maybe aren't fully converted, you don't have sling loops, you can actually buy these without the cuts. If you want to cut your sling loop off, some people want to do that, some people don't. I typically don't want to do that. I kind of like to leave it on there because I'm always changing furniture out. So luckily, the rails are sold both ways, with and without the cut. You don't actually need the lower handguard to mount it. These things are totally free floated. Bolts back here on the barrel where it actually fits into your trunnion. So it bolts to the barrel at the farthest most rear point, and nothing touches the barrel beyond that point. It's just sitting there. It's just locked in place. It doesn't use the lower handguard retainer to mount at all. The big bonus there is there's no way you can flex the barrel on how you twist it, smacking it into barricades, jamming it up against trees, as you're gonna see. And as we found out at Kalashnikon, I was scoring some crazy long range hits with this thing. And I have found that with these rails, with any weight, with any free float setup on an AK, you definitely see an uptick in accuracy. More so, you're letting the AK be as accurate as it possibly can be without anything torquing the barrel. AKs are just notorious for barrel flex. Be it from shooting fast, they have a lot of barrel whip, and just using standard handguards. It's very easy to twist the barrel when you're jamming onto fixed surfaces to post up, to take long range shots. Depending on how you torque your AK, it's very easy to change your point of impact. It's just one downside from them. So I kind of see the future going this way. A lot of rails that don't use your lower handguard retainer to mount, that mount towards the receiver and leave everything up front untouched. And that's what they've done here. And we have absolutely seen better accuracy, better maintained accuracy because of the lower barrel flex. They sell these things in like everything from like micro Draco to mini Draco to full Draco to AKM to 14, over 14 inches, 11 inches, 10 inches, all different kinds. We've even got one on Rachel's gun. Hers is an AKM length gas system with a 14.5 barrel, and we have like that perfect rail that just stops right at the gas block and looks super sexy. Yeah, but for those of you that like the full length rails that don't have the short barrels, they make a 14.25 inch rail that honestly is going to be that sweet spot for like a 16 inch gun. But regardless of whatever rail you buy, you can get, depending on what length gas system you have, the replacement gas tube, which I'm finally trying now. And I think it looks pretty gnarly on there. And this thing is not going to move. It has 4 very heavy duty bolts that are going to hold this thing in place. There's no way it can shift. It does not clamp to the barrel like an Ultimac does. It doesn't touch your barrel at all. I mean, it doesn't touch anything. It's not even touching the sight block. It's kind of just floating in place, bolted to your barrel clamp, holding your lower handguard on. I'm sure it gets hot, as railed gas tubes do, so we got a little bit of rubber up here because I do tend to hold my AKs like this. I really like putting forward grips on. I do find myself running my thumb over the wooden upper handguard, which typically isn't a problem, but because this is all now aluminum, it's gonna get hot. A little bit of rubber. It's typically how I hold them when I'm trying to go fast and LARP. You have the ability to use this brand new T2 optic mount that also bolts on to the barrel clamp that holds everything together, and it like has this sweet little rail that just floats over the top of your dust cover here. Dust cover can come on and off extremely easy. It's very easy. Just like that. You can disassemble, nothing gets in the way. Your bolt carrier comes in and out. There's nothing, it doesn't hold up disassembly at all. I think this is such an interesting way to mount an optic. I haven't really seen anyone do it like this, and I can tell you that they're about to be available. So JMAC actually has a newsletter that you can sign up to. Apparently that's how they let you know first when products go live. So I would click off this video and go sign up for that newsletter and come back, because at the time of this video drop, these are like right around the corner. I'm giving you a big hint here, so go sign up for that newsletter, because the people on that newsletter are probably gonna buy them all. So just go sign up for it. Whoa, all right. Recoil's gone now. Woo! What do we got, 1 round left? Empty. Very cool. Okay, show them how far away we are, what, 20 yards? Okay, I'm going to attempt to slowly start increasing my rate of fire from 1 to 30 and try to keep everything on that plate. I definitely feel like I have a ton of control just the way that it's set up. It is very hot though. Whew. Definitely missed quite a few, but it was very controllable. I will say the heat is definitely building to where we need to let it cool down. Sucker is smoking hot. Forward grip really comes in handy right there. This should be what, 2, 4, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 shots if we don't miss. All right. Time, 17 shots, 29.45, no misses. 29.45, 17 shots, no misses. Let's see if we can do that again faster. This thing is so handy on a VTAC barricade, having so much flat surface to plant, stab, plant, super nice. Man, really, really digging it. 29.45, no misses. You have to beat that. We may go empty on this first mag. We'll just reload if we have to. Same exact course of fire. Miss. There's our first miss. Miss. First time's always the charm. 19 rounds, that means 2 misses, 32.70, a few seconds slower. Whew, I guess in a match you want your first attempt to be the best attempt. Whew. Building a little bit of heat, but it's not unbearable. All right. Let's give that one more try and try to redeem ourselves. One miss. Good reload though. So, A full second faster than our first time, 26.87 with a miss. I'd say that's about as good as the first round was. .3 while getting hits. .42 both hits. God, it shoots so good. I think it's kind of a dream to shoot. It gets hot, but it's so well balanced. Freaking Dracos, man. RD25, the T2 mount, the MMS with the full package, the rail dust cover, and the very cool 360 blast shield is it's a vibe. It's pretty sweet. And that old, like, just Mad Max tanker mag, like, you have to admit, that's an interesting look. And it is very functional. Because when the AK's, like, it's got to be functional, but what's a close second? I think it's got to look good. We've got everything from trench art to aircraft aluminum. Super cool. Anyway, like I said earlier, Ash and Justin wanted me to let you know to get on that newsletter on their mailing list, because when I drop this video on Friday, these mounts are ready to go. Lighter than the original that I had, it's the same shape, and I can tell you after destroying at matches with this thing, it absolutely holds zero if you Loctite the bolts. Loctite the screws that are holding your dot on, and this freaking thing shreds. It shreds, okay? All right, son? I'm trying to come through here and shred. I think people are gonna ask, can you put this on Yugo pattern AKs? Yes, you can. They do make these for Zastava or Yugo pattern AKs. It all just depends on the barrel clamp mount. You know, everything else, as long as you just order it on their page, like specific to your gun, should have something for everything. They did want me to tell you that rail dust covers are in development. They're gonna come one day. Different mounts, different bolt patterns for various different optics. That's all gonna come, but right now it's just the T2 bolt pattern. So a lot of things to come. So I think what they really see, they see this chassis being extremely modular. I think that's the future of AKs, man. We're gonna start seeing a lot of rail dust covers, a lot of free-floated rails, a lot of modular optic mounts based on whatever optic you buy for like your core chassis system. Definitely think that's the way, and future is bright for AK aftermarket. So I really like this thing, man. I really, really do. I want to try it. I want to try their longer rail on one of our more basic 7.62 AKs and see how we like it. I've already ran the crap out of it on Rachel's 5.56 AK and this, but I want to try that 14.25 one, the really long one on a 16-inch barrel. Anyway, that's it, man. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Let me know what you think about these JMAC MMS rails, the whole system in general, and that new optic mount. And what do you think about this new dot? The dot's pretty sick for the price. The whole thing's sick. Really have thoroughly enjoyed it. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. And thank you, JMAC, for letting us have one of these to review. It's been freaking cool, man. Really have enjoyed it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll definitely see you next time.